maybe 6 o'clock. This is not a commitment. This is not a commitment. But maybe 6 o'clock would be a good time for me to go live, 6 o'clock Central Time. It seems if I added up all the times I started, most often the highest, the median, which is the average, and the mode, which is the most occurring of a series of numbers, would be 6 a.m. And maybe because of that, no, I'm still going to do my show when I wake up. Because I want to be able to sleep in. And if I can't sleep in and have something to say or something I want to talk about, I want to do my show early. So, good morning, Shorty. Good morning, Ronnie, Alana, Spencer, Leroy, Landon, Mosey, Lori. Good morning, Laura. User, Leroy Brown, Big House, Spencer Hughes, John Uptonova, Mosey, Bobby, Hershey, Satin, Otis, Timbo. I'm building a little momentum. You can almost feel it. What do they say? It's palpable. Like the tension in the room was palpable. But the enthusiasm in the room is almost palpable as I'm saying good morning. So I'm going to say it 3 times. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning to you. My name is Ken Tracy, and this is Coffee with Ken. It is Friday morning. It is just about 6 a.m. It is November 8th? I think it's November 8th. Yeah, November 8th says my watch, but when you have one of these watches, they don't know how to keep track of what day of the week or day of the month it is, because some months have 30 days, some have 31, and February. Don't even get me started with February. But anyway, happy Friday. This is a show I've been doing for quite some time. It's a show about me talking. It's a show about me sharing some feelings, sharing some emotions, sharing a glass of water. It's not really a glass. It's a plastic cup. I like these plastic cups. They're good for the twice divorced man. Good morning, Julie Flanagan. With staying in an extended stay with nothing really to his name outside of a few boxes that are in the lobby, and has bought plates and silverware and glassware more times than he'd want to admit or likes to even think about. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. Maybe this time I'm never going to replace it, and I'm just going to go to Starbucks or go to Pete's Coffee and get a bunch of plastic cups and maybe find one of those huge boxes of plasticware and just go like this and grab this much plastic forks, plastic knives, plastic spoons, take them in my drawer. So tired of going and buying more of those. So yeah. But anyway, for those that have been watching a while, good morning, Sparks. You know, it's not just a show about me talking. You know, it is also a show about me sharing my love of coffee. And with that in mind, I got a nice hot cup of coffee in front of me. Nobody's going to be able to guess what it is. I surprised myself when I selected the bag. Happy Friday to you, Stu, and hello, truly. But I'm excited to have my very first sip at this fairly normal hour for me on this Friday morning in early but moving into mid-November. Hi, Leslie. My hope is wherever you are and whatever you're doing, you got a hot cup of coffee in front of you as well. Cheers to us. Oh. I'll tell you, the flavor's great. But in my mind, there's just a level of skepticism. A level of skepticism. Because this is the coconut from Meyer. It's the store brand. Hendrix, I think it's the store brand. I don't know. I don't really shop at Meyer very often. But I went there about a month ago because sometimes they'll have really good sales on Starbucks coffee, which I usually buy. They didn't have good sale on Starbucks coffee about a month back. But they had a fairly good sale on their Hendrix, which I believe is just a store brand. And so I picked up a couple bags. And I don't know if it's the flavor, because I think the flavor is pretty solid. Or I don't know if it's some trick of my mind saying cheap imitation coffee, artificial flavors, causes cancer in lab rats type thoughts. Good morning, Josh. Somebody just read Never Enough. Coffee Barista Turns into Billionaire. Great book. Well, I think it's awesome to read great books that inspire us or motivate us or get us excited. And that sounds like a good one. Howdy, Will Bill Chill. Sounds like a real good one. Oh, Tanya Withrow. How did the car shopping go? That was so yesterday's news. Somebody asked me how I felt about the election results. That was 2 days ago's news. I just posted a video, my longest video ever to TikTok, I think, other than like most of my videos come from these lives that I do every day. I go live every day on TikTok, and Robert Patrick says, I've heard you say you're a graduate of college. You can be a substitute teacher. But I don't want to be a substitute teacher, Robert Patrick. But thank you for suggesting that. What was I saying? Oh, I just posted a video a couple of hours ago about my car shopping. It was the longest video I've done to date that I posted. Most of my videos come from my live shows. I go live every morning here on TikTok. This is where I was. I go live every morning here on TikTok. And I usually talk for half an hour, but closer to an hour. And from this content, about a month later in my editing process, I post shorts, reels, and TikToks. And somewhere last night I said, hey, I really liked yesterday's show. I'm going to edit yesterday's show tonight. And because of that, I went into one very long story. I'm laughing. Stu just asked, have I ever thought about working at Starbucks? And that's what makes me laugh. I get so much advice, and I'm never asking for advice, rarely. Or if I ask for advice, I go, hey, I need some advice. But the world loves to give advice. And I used to have these things coming out of my chest and needing to express. And I'd call my brother or somebody, a friend, and he'd give me advice. And I'm going, yeah, maybe I don't want advice. Maybe I just need to get it off my chest. So I do this show because I can honestly shut off the viewers and not even look at your comments if I want to. But I prefer to engage. I like humans. I like conversation. So anyway, Stu, I want to go ask. And I'm not complaining about you, Stu. I'm just saying it's the nature of it all. And he said, have I ever thought about working at Starbucks? I can't tell you how many times that's been suggested. I've even applied to Starbucks 5 or 10 times. They've never hired me. Maybe they knew I didn't really want that job. Maybe I knew. Maybe I wouldn't even be good. Maybe I wouldn't like it. Maybe it's way too far left of a company or progressive company, whatever you want to call it. Maybe I'd rub some feathers the wrong way. Maybe a rude customer would tick me off. Yeah, so maybe, yeah, I've certainly thought about it. But I wouldn't want to do it. It wouldn't pay enough. I honestly don't even want a 9 to 5 job. I don't. I've got too much life to live in the next 30 years to be an employee. So anyway, somebody asked me about the car, and they apologize. They don't need to apologize. I'm just filling my show with, if you don't talk, there's a dead space. I find the audience doesn't like dead space. So let's come up with something to talk about, which isn't a problem. But anyway, I posted a 14-minute video from yesterday's live about my car buying experience, and from start to finish, and I think it's pretty good. But I did buy a car. And if you want to know how the shopping experience went, honestly, I think it offers great insight to somebody that's looking to buy a car. If I was looking to buy a car and was concerned about dealing with a car dealer or the ins and outs, and I maybe got screwed, but I don't think I got screwed. I think a lot of people get screwed when buying cars and buy things they don't need, and get pressured, and the car dealer almost makes it seem like you're just signing up for an oil change, or you'd be stupid not to add this on. But then when you add it on, you're increasing the cost of your car by 40%. It's crazy. And I think anybody, and I'm going to be a little sexist here, and I don't mean to be, but I think women are more afraid to go in and deal with car salesmen or car dealers, are more afraid about the process. And I don't know, I'm sure there's some women out there that don't feel that way and probably could rip my head off and shove it down my neck. So it's not across the board, but I know there's a lot of women. I was married to a woman that was terrified about the process, and was terrified about the process. And I would guess car salesmen probably lick their chops at certain times. And Stu says he sees me in a nice Corvette convertible. Stu, that's an interesting topic. It wouldn't be a new Corvette. It wouldn't be the new Corvette. The new Corvette's just got way too much going on. Way too much going on. There was a time in my life where I had some money and enjoyed some fancy cars and enjoyed some sports cars and shopped for a Corvette. But personally, I always found the Corvette a little cheesy. Too macho, maybe. And the newest version is maybe too testosterone-filled, Lamborghini wannabe for my taste. And I don't like the way it looks. Now, don't get me wrong. There are some very beautiful Corvettes from past years. The Corvettes in the 60s were gorgeous. If anyone's ever seen the movie Less Than Zero, or the Barbie movie, for anyone that's seen the Barbie movie, she drives a little pink toy Corvette from like 63, I'd guess. I think that's a beautiful car. Not the pink one, not the little toy version, but that year and style was just gorgeous. And I was born in 68, in the 70s, a Stingray Corvette came out, and it looked kind of like the Speed Racer car. Not that you guys will know who Speed Racer is, but the Mach 5. And kind of stole the styling, I think, from the Mach 5 on Speed Racer. And at the time, I thought that was very 70s and very cheesy. But I'll tell you what, as time has passed, that model's aged really well. And I think owning a late 70s Corvette, all fixed up and all nice and all shiny. I'd like that a lot. I think I would like that a lot. Truly asked if I like the Mustang. No, I don't. No, I don't. I think it's kind of got similar American muscle issues that the Corvette does. So it's not my thing. Hey, I'm not saying it's not a great car. I just bought a Kia Soul. So I'm not judging anybody that has anything, because cars you have may be way cooler, fancier, or neater, and you guys do you. You guys do you. But I'm just telling you my stuff and my thoughts and my opinions. And I'm not saying I'm right. And if you own a Corvette, you're cheesy, or a Mustang or whatever, because what do I know? But I'm just telling you my thoughts. Ford Fusion, I don't even know what that looks like. Tanya just noticed my shirt, very cool. A friend gave it to me in a sweatshirt a couple of years ago. It brings me up to an interesting conversation. Stu just got rid of his Kia Soul with 265,000 miles. Stu, that's inspirational. That is inspirational. Here's to our Kia Souls. May yours rest in peace, while mine is just a newborn. It's not even 2 days old. It doesn't even have 100 miles on it yet. But anyway, I will tell you, I love it. I mean, I've only had it a day, and I don't ask much of it. I've never stepped on the gas. I have connected my phone to the radio system, so my phone, I can change the music on the panel and mess around with it. I haven't read an instruction book. I was given no training. I see little buttons all over, and I'm pushing knobs and twisting things and going, I mean, it's probably not very safe. Because I must say, I'm a distracted driver. I'm trying to push this button and push this button. And I think if you push a certain button, the car doesn't want you to leave your lane. And if you try and leave your lane without a turn signal, it goes, it makes a beeping noise. I'm like, hey, car, take it easy. That's just me smoothly changing lanes. I know what I'm doing. This isn't my first rodeo. Truly suggests read the owner's manual. Well, I understand, Truly. I understand that would be the commonsensical solution. I haven't had time. I may never make time. I may enjoy the hunt and peck system of how does this car work? How do I turn up the stereo? How do I do this or that? How do I turn on the cruise control? I don't know. I'll be sexist again. Maybe I'm a typical man that's scared to ask for directions. Woo, I don't know. Let's push some button. Let's push some button and see what happens. Hope there's no kill switch and I'll be driving. I don't even know if it can drive 70 miles an hour. I'm assuming it can. Wonder how fast it can go. I bet it can't go 100. But maybe it can. Who knows? Why would I need to? That's against all speed limits. So I'll be cruising along and go, hey, I wonder what this button does. And the car will go, rah, 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 rah. Meg is one away from $96,000. Meg, I've said it before, I'll say it again. My mother's name was Margaret, and she went by Meg, so it gives me kind of a warm, fuzzy feeling to have you on. Tanya said, congrats, I work hard, I deserve it, and my kids will enjoy more time. Okay, let me roll right into that. I hadn't been able to see my kids much over the last couple months. And to see them required my ex-wife bringing them out to some third-party area. And, she's got a lot going on in her life and probably wasn't fair for me to ask. But I was still asking and still wanting because I really wanted to see my kids. And I didn't have a car to go pick them up. Yesterday was my first full day owning the car. And I had the day off. And I didn't tell my ex-wife I bought one. So she must have found out on social media. She must be watching me on social media. But anyway, because she sure wasn't surprised that I pulled up in a new car or what type of car it was yesterday at her house. But that aside, it was good seeing my little baby in her arms. I have two beautiful kids, a little girl named Eve who just turned 2 and a son named Augie, who's just a little bit over 3.5. And they are the most beautiful, sweetest little things. I mean, they're very different. People often ask if they're twins because despite their age difference, Augie has Down syndrome and makes him the most special little angel. He's my little nugget of love. If anybody out there ever sees this video and maybe is a young woman or young man hoping to have kids someday, and maybe you're going to find out while your wife is pregnant that there's signs indicating that your child may have Down syndrome. Remember, I tell you this now, and I kid you not, I am getting the chills all over my body as I relive this experience. Your knee-jerk reaction will be to go, oh crap, oh no, oh poor baby, poor me, poor family, what are we going to do? All sorts of negative thoughts about what it is to have a child with Down syndrome. And I am telling you now, he is the most special little angel, little nugget of love, and he is perfect. And I wouldn't change a thing. I wouldn't change a thing. He's a perfect little angel. I mean, he's a little boy. He's a little bit of a troublemaker. Having two of them at a playground at that age are a lot to handle because Augie's favorite thing to do is kind of lower his head and run. Eve's like walking around and going on slides, and she's learning how to say Augie and learning how to say a bunch of different things. Her mom's teaching her words, and her shoe would fall off, and she'd go, oh, shoe. And I'm trying to put her shoe back on, and I look up, and Augie's taking off across the field going, thinking he's fun, thinking he's going to get away from his dada. And I'll tell you, I'm going to give you a scary image, but it crossed my mind. I was at a park here in the western suburbs of Chicago, and there's fields, and it was dusk time. I'm not even going to tell you because it's such a horrid thing. Yeah, I won't even tell you. Nothing happened. Everything was fine, but I was going, hey, I better be right next to him. And he was running off. There's coyotes in the area. There was a sign on the walk said, coyotes in the area. And so I'm going, hey, you better get back here. You get back here. And I was wondering. I mean, I don't know. I'm personally not scared of coyotes, but I'm scared of coyotes for my little nugget of love. It gets me scared just thinking about it. All the goosebumps just went away. Yeah. So anyway, we played at the playground for an hour or so, and then I drove him to the library in the area because I often will go to the Naperville library. And Naperville's got great libraries. It's a great place to raise a family. It's where I live right now, and my ex-wife lives in a nearby town. And I've took my older girls to the library a lot. As a twice-divorced dad, I think you're trying to look for some low-cost things for them to do, and taking them to the library is often a good solution because they've got toys and books and colorful stuff, and sometimes they'll have little kiddie classes. Anyway, I took them to a different library, and it was under construction, and the playroom was very limited. And I brought them both in there, and certainly wasn't what I'm used to as far as the library. And I had this double stroller, and it's this kind of tiny old library, and they had an open door to the kids' room, and I tried to block it off. Used my stroller to block it off as a kind of barrier/door to the playroom in an effort to keep my kids contained. And not my kids, plural, because really, Eve wasn't an issue. It was Augie that decided he wanted to go adventure. So anyway, I'm sitting here playing over here with Eve, and then I'm going, hey, where's Augie? I saw my stroller did not one bit of good to keep him contained into the kid area. And Augie! And there he is, down the aisle in the adult room, and there's a librarian going, hey. Augie has his shoes and socks off at this point because he thinks that's pretty funny. I'll tell you what, they don't like that in the Naperville library. I've been scolded. I get scolded for everything. I get scolded more than any human being. I get scolded as much now as I did when I was 10. I must have that face. This guy's probably doing something wrong, so scold him for something. I go, I'm trying really my best. Augie took off his shoes and his socks. I've got 2 of them. They go in different directions. What am I supposed to do? So I get him, I bring him back in, and I get scolded for having the stroller kind of trying. It wasn't even doing a good job blocking the door, but the librarian told me that I couldn't keep my stroller there because it was a fire hazard. Well, I get it, sort of. But let me tell you, I couldn't even keep my 3.5-year-old Down syndrome child contained. Certainly wasn't going to stop anyone from coming in and going out of the playroom. But rules are rules. Rules are rules. So I moved my stroller. So I had no barrier to keeping him outside of showing him so much cheer, joy. So much cheer, joy. Sharon, I don't really agree because, it's not their responsibility to help me with my kids. I get it. It's not. But either way, when you're one parent and you're working with 2 little ones that sometimes like to go in different directions, I had a wonderful night with my kids. And I think I slept better and I think I feel better because I got to spend, and it was only a little over 2 hours, loving on my babies and kissing them and tickling them and feeding them and chasing them. And it felt really good. However, going forward, I'm going to have to figure, I got to get a house. And I'm going to get, my dream is this little 3-bedroom, 2-bath, split level, close to downtown Naperville with a 2-car garage, room for my scooters, my Audi A6, which I don't have, in red, and somewhere in the driveway I'll probably park my white Kia Soul. Laura, I will agree with that. Laura says it seems people take joy in correcting everyone. I don't know if it's joy, but I think it might be the way a lot of us are programmed to look for issues in other people. And I'm not saying I'm above it at all. And to point them out at work. Oh my gosh, at work, any job I've ever had. I think a lot of times managers think their job, what managing is to correct mistakes of employees. And I'll bet you there's somebody out there that, I've got 57 people watching today. Somebody else probably thinks that too. That is what a manager does. They correct their employees. And I don't get that at all. I think you can inspire your employees and encourage them. And there is time for correction. But you use that as a last resort. And honestly, for me, when I'm in correction mode, I've been pushed. And my correction might come with a little more zest, almost fury, than in this day and age is appropriate. But I'm still usually in the right outside of the sternness with which the correction will take place. When repeated and constant efforts at encouragement and support and help don't work. Sometimes my correction can take the form a little harsher than I'd like it to. Yeah. Let's have a little more coffee. I'm going to go get a cup of coffee. So hang with me if you'd like. There's 64 people watching. That's kind of fun. That is kind of fun. Boo-da-doo. Boo-da-boo. Boo-da-boo. So yeah, anyway, I'm going to need a place to corral my kids. For that rose. That's so sweet of you. Just so they can play in a reasonably child-proof area and bounce off the walls if they want and fall down and not get hurt. Because to a child, having a whole library full of books, they're just fun toys to pull off the shelves. Let me tell you, Dada had to do a lot of cleaning of that little playroom before we left. And I think I decided the best strategy was strap him in the stroller before I cleaned. That was self-containing. Lisa Smith said, is there a children's museum in my area? There is. But again, I need there's places I know, and this isn't my first rodeo. So yeah, I know places that work better than others. But nothing works as well as having a home or a playroom or child gates or outlets that are covered or, child-proof room with toys and soft things. Yeah. So that's what I'm hoping for. That's really what I'm hoping for and what I'm working for and building towards. Because, I agree there's children's museum, but again, I don't live in a children's museum. That might be a fun trip or something like that. But I need a home and a bedroom for them with cribs and a play area for them so we can hang out for extended periods of time. Because my ex texted me and said, hey, they must have had a great time because they fell asleep as soon as they put their head on the pillow. And I think they did, and their dad did too. But I'll tell you what, their dad was tired. And it was only a couple hours. But it was a couple hours on the road, which is much more challenging than a couple hours. Not on the road, like literally on the road. Because if they're in their child seats, they're contained. But getting the double stroller out and two of them that are both tiny but still wiggly and fast and can walk out in the world with coyotes and librarians can be a scary proposition. But it was a nice night. Couple thoughts. I've taken some notes. If I have thoughts during the night, I'll take some notes and I'll write them down and go, hey, maybe I want to touch on this subject tomorrow while I'm talking. I bought my car. It's a white Kia Soul. And I posted on Facebook that I put my logo there, which is this logo, but this logo is fairly worn off. And I put a picture of my car. And I said, hey, should I put my logo on my car? And I had probably 30 responses. 29 of them were yes. And one of my best friends just said no and no explanation. And I get where he's coming from. Julie says yes. Most people say yes. But I kind of get where he's coming from. I mean, this is my everyday driver. What if I was to go on a date? And yeah, she's going to know I'm Coffee with Ken. And yeah, but you know what I mean. What if I was to go on a date? What if I was to pick up a woman and there's my Coffee with Ken logo on my car? It'd almost be me being a caricature of myself. And I'm not a caricature. I'm a real person. And that's what I think what makes Coffee with Ken good. And I don't know. I like the idea from a marketing standpoint. But to me, I was editing a video about me being a realtor, because I was a realtor 17 years, and how I wasn't sure of my thought on name tags. And at the end of the video, I go, I am sure. I don't like them at all. Name tags on realtors. I think they're cheesy. And I used to wear one occasionally because I thought I needed to. And maybe on the car, it'd be the same. Maybe on the car it would be the same. That it'd be it'd be fun, it'd be cute. It's a nice car for it. The only reason I bought it in white was to put the logos on. I actually went somebody suggested a sign company near where my babies live with their mama. And I went and stopped by and I met the guy and sent him the logo and sent him a link to TikTok because possibly I would want my logo and a QR code on the back door. So if somebody saw it and was driving by and said, hey, what's Coffee with Ken all about? And just brought out their phone and scanned it, they'd come to my TikTok page and could subscribe. Jeannie said, and my social media handles under the logo. That'd be too much writing. And I almost think understated is better. Because if they see Coffee with Ken, they'll wonder what is that. They'll wonder what that is and maybe go find it. Oh, Joey asked about a small bumper stickers. I've always thought bumper stickers were a total desecration of a car. So maybe door stickers aren't too. Throwaway Dough said, if I'm serious about this becoming a source of income, you absolutely need to put it on my car. I don't know, Throwaway Dough. I don't know. Does that mean a realtor that is absolutely serious about being a realtor has to wear a name tag? And maybe it does. Maybe it does. But my audience grows every day, and I didn't even have a car. Didn't even have a car 2 days ago. And my audience still grows, and I'm still making income on it. So I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure that I absolutely have to have it on my car if I'm serious about making income. Because I'll tell you what, I'm serious as a heart attack about it, making income on this show. And I think it's what God put me here to do. Talk for an hour every morning while drinking a cup of coffee and see who wants to watch. But I don't often go up and say, hey, you got to check out my great podcast. I have a great podcast. You got to watch it because my podcast probably isn't great for everybody. Because if you don't want this, and if you're not needing this, you're going to look at it and go, what the hell is this guy talking about? This is the most boring show in the world. So I'm not sure. Laura said she might look it up, but is that unusual? I don't think so. Brittany says she is a young toddler and she's newly separated. Does it get easier? Brittany, I'd say you get better at it. I'd say you get better at it. And again, I'm not even with my kids nearly very often just because I only got a car 2 days ago to go pick them up. And you only have one toddler, so you'll be okay. It's when they outnumber you that you're really screwed. Does it get easier? I think you get better. And if you had a hard day with your young toddler yesterday, know that there's every parent out there, every single parent has had a hard day with a young toddler in their life. So don't punish yourself and don't beat yourself up if you were frustrated and pulling out your hair because your young toddler took off his diaper and made a big mess. Because we've all been there. So I think you should be kind to yourself. And the kinder you are to yourself in your frustration, the more kind and loving you're going to be able to be to your young toddler. So don't just do it for you. Do it for your baby who needs love from his mama. And it's hard when you're tired and worn out and frustrated and angry at them because they're tiring and frustrating and sometimes anger-inducing. But the kinder you are to yourself in dealing with your own emotions, the better you will be at giving them the love they need. Will Bill Chill said a magnetic sign that I can remove. Almost more work than I want, or almost not committal enough. If I'm just going to do that, The beauty of putting the sticker on is having it there all the time, so everybody sees it. Not Original says, I have a podcast too. No, Not Original. This is what I call a podcast. This is what I call a podcast. Sandra Lynn says, do one on your back window. I thought about that. That might not be a bad solution. Yeah. Throwaway Dough says, letting people know about it just gives them a chance to learn about it, whether it's for them. That is true, Throwaway Dough. I like your opinion. How about a personalized license plate? Another thing I've always thought was cheesy. Personally, I never called or looked up a business just from a logo on a vehicle, but who knows? I'm sure some people do. And Spencer Marketing clearly works. That's why we have billboards. Laura says it gets easier, Brittany. People can see it if you parked and easier to remove. Good morning, Ty. Kenny saying, get it wrapped. Do it all. Do it big or go home. How you treat your kids is how you treat you when they grow up. How they treat you, I don't know. I like window idea too. Yeah, no, I don't have anything copyrighted. I don't really worry about that. If I get a serious issue with somebody because I'm making so much money, I'll handle that hurdle as it comes. How do you plan to keep warm in the Walmart parking lot at night? Pete, I'm not even in a Walmart parking lot. I never even said a warm part. I got to check out who this Pete is. He's got some followers. He seems suspicious with that question. I was suspicious of you, Pete. What other thoughts do I have for you this morning? I do have another thought. I was cruising down the road in my car yesterday and said, hey, Siri, call this friend. Except I didn't actually say this friend. Pete, that's a possibility. That's a plan, but it's not there yet. I'm not sure. All right, if you want to talk about how I would keep warm in my car in a Walmart parking lot, and it's all hypothetical. I considered moving into my car for a while because I've discovered people do it. And I'm currently spending $1,600 a month in rent for an extended stay, which is about what a one-bedroom would cost. And I don't need a long-term lease or a security deposit or applications or a bunch of stuff today. Hey, good luck on your interview, Lucky Pirate Ship. I'll tell you what, scratch that. You don't need luck, Lucky Pirate Ship. You don't need luck on your interview. You be you, but be polite. Look them in the eye, shake their hand, be confident. And if the job is a good match for you, you will get the job. And if it's not, you won't. And that's the way it should be. I think a lot of us try and change who we are in our interviews and be somebody we're not meant to be. Like for me, I interviewed maybe a year ago now for a 9/11 operator with the city of Naperville. I didn't change who I was trying to be, but I tried to fit the suit that they were looking for. Fit the suit meaning be the type of person they were looking for. And to be honest, there's no way I should be handling 9/11 calls in the middle of the night. That's not me. So I didn't get the job. And although I wanted and almost needed the job, I didn't get it. But it wouldn't have been a good fit. And again, back to you, Pirate Ship. I would recommend just being you and being the friendliest, best version of yourself, but don't be fake. So you don't need luck on this interview. You're going to do great because you're going to do who you are. And hopefully it's a right fit. And if you don't get the job, it wasn't a right fit. And be confident going in there. But where was I? Oh, I was cruising down the road. I called my buddy. And we were talking about social media. He watches me on a social media channel. And I told him I made $400 last month on social media. I think he was a little bit envious of that. I think he was a little bit envious of that. And he goes, how do you make your money? Or where do you make it on? And I gave him a breakdown of where the money's coming from on 3 different social media platforms, none of which are the one he follows me on. And I told him, hey, I'm just a guy that likes talking and drinking coffee. And he kind of jokingly said, oh, I like talking and drinking coffee too. Maybe I should do a coffee talk show. And I know he was just kidding. But it takes more than a casual interest in something, I think, to be an artist or a creator, maybe a creator. It takes more than a casual interest in something to be a creator, whether you're a painter, a musician, a singer, or a content creator on social media. Because if you got a casual, who doesn't like drinking coffee and talking? But it takes almost a certain craziness to do what I'm doing. And if you like the feeling of a paintbrush going over a canvas, kind of, and you think, hey, that's a pretty color, I don't think that's enough to become an artist. Or if you like the sound of music or singing and you go, ah, and you go, hey, that's kind of fun. Or if you like strumming a guitar, that's probably not going to be enough. I think to be a creator, you have to have something in your soul, something that wants to come out, something you need to express. You have something to say. And I'm not saying it has to be great or it has to be the best in the world, but you have to have a desire to express yourself in some form. I think to become a creator, to be a pianist, lead singer in a rock band, an artist, or a content creator. And I'm not trying to say that what I do is art, because, yeah. But I think it's a need to express myself. And my buddy said, hey, he likes drinking coffee and talking. Yeah. Honestly, I think you like having coffee and talking with me. And maybe some other people, I don't know. But you have to need to express yourself in one form or other to be a content creator or probably an artist in any fashion. I'll bet you any musician you like probably struggled as a child because they had something that needed to come out of them and needed to express themselves in ways. A writer, you gotta, I think I'm a pretty good writer. I can put a really nice words to paper. But at least right now, I don't feel a need to express myself through writing because I'm getting it out here. And again, I think you have to need to get it out. Have that need to be a creator or artistic in any way. And I probably always had that need. I just didn't know it. And because of that, I didn't struggle that much as a youth. I got pretty good grades, went to a good school, was MVP of my cross-country team. But I had a lot of inner demons and a lot of self-doubt and a lot of yucky thoughts because I didn't have a way to get the stuff out that needed to come out. And without having a way to express ourselves, we probably struggle. And once that expression starts coming out, that's when who painted the Mona Lisa? It wasn't Michelangelo. Whoever painted the Mona Lisa, that's when the Mona Lisa was painted. Because he had something he needed to express. Da Vinci, thank you. He had something he needed to express. Or when Michelangelo went up on top of the Sistine Chapel, and I don't know how long it took him to paint that, but he had something he inside that needed to come out that he wanted to express. Or when, I don't know, what's her name? Popular singer. My daughter went and saw her concert the other day. Who's the singer? 1989 is one of her albums. She has something she needs to express, and it almost comes out of Taylor Swift. Thank you. If you like Taylor Swift or you don't, she has something she wants to say. She has life experiences that are coming out of her, and she needs to express it. And her way of expressing is through her music. And it's probably true for every musician or painter or pianist or content creator. Because unless you have a need to express something, you are not going to stick with your art, whatever that art may be, and be as persistent and crazy determined to get it out and to put it on video in my case, or to put it on a CD or whatever in Taylor Swift's case, or to put it on canvas in Da Vinci's case. And it has to be coming out from you. So when I wake up in the morning, oftentimes I just want to scream and talk and get stuff off my chest. So I have nothing else to do. I got nobody that wants to listen to me. You guys want to listen to me. I'm actually making money for you guys listening to me. How fun is that? Who would have thought? So I go every morning. So people say, wow, you're consistent. And I go, well, I don't know. It's what I do. It's what I'm supposed to do. And I think a painter is supposed to paint, and Taylor Swift is supposed to sing, and Yo-Yo Ma was supposed to play the cello. Good morning, Captain Kenny. Somebody's got a birthday coming soon, Captain Kenny. Pete, I don't know what that means, Pete. Pete wrote car payment. What does that mean, Pete? That's a noun. That's like saying cup. What am I supposed to do with that? Oh, social media pays my car payment? It does. Yeah, I'm not saying you got to become a professional for it to be art. And even if Coffee with Ken never paid me a dime, it would still be me creating. And, even if you paint in a little closet that you call your studio, and as long as you're able to release it. But I don't think, for me, I could go, hey, I should go be a painter. That'd be fun. I like colors. Maybe I'm going to start painting because I like painting. I like art class. Because it's not an expression that needs to come out for me. You know what I mean? But if I loved it enough that I would create a little studio here and buy paint and love it. But if you're just doing it as a hobby, and I think a lot of people do stuff as hobby, create for yourself first. Because if you don't, if I did this show, if I was trying to say what I thought you guys wanted to hear, or even cared what you wanted to hear almost. And I don't mean to say I don't care about you, but I can only care about you guys so much. Because if Da Vinci's painting the Mona Lisa and he's going, hey, what's going to make this marketable or give it some commercial appeal, he's going to put a big smile on the girl and probably show some cleavage. But he painted the Mona Lisa the way he saw it and the way he wanted. And it spoke to him. And therefore spoke to us all. And that's why it's the most famous painting in the world and the most valuable painting in the world, because I've never actually been to the Louvre. I've never been to France. But it doesn't look like a particularly interesting painting, or his best work, but there's something about it. And it was just a man expressing himself through his art by painting a picture of a woman. And that's kind of what I'm doing every day. And I'm not trying to say the two greats of our time, Da Vinci and Tracy. It kind of sounds pretty good, though. That sounds pretty good, though. Da Vinci and Tracy. Could we be a law firm? Or do you think he'd partner with me? Well, Tracy is the content creator / social media arm of our creativity department, and I handle the painting. And we split the profits. He keeps painting the Mona Lisa over there, and I'm raking in the money while going live and doing my Coffee with Ken show every morning. Thank you, Aunt Rhonda. So he did, but purpose masters in his painting. Huh? Oh, Captain Kenny, Tracy's the best in the business, and don't you forget that baby. I appreciate that, Captain Kenny. Are you just kissing up to me because you want me singing for you in a few days? I don't know if I sing anymore. Maybe I will. But anyway, it's about 5:55 in the morning. Or it's about 6:55 in the morning. Sorry, I forgot I changed my watch forward. And I'm excited about my day, and it looks like it's going to be a beautiful day. I miss my scooter a little bit. It's parked in a garage at the Kia dealership in Naperville. I wonder how long it's going to be safe there. Part of me wonders if I could leave it there all winter. I don't really have anywhere I need to put it. I tell you, as much as I love the scooter, it's nice being able to wear any coat I want. Like yesterday, I wore a little North Face kind of lighter coat. When I ride the scooter, I wear a heavy leather coat because it's safer and, thick, and I think it's safer. But it was nice going out with just a light coat yesterday and going and picking up some groceries and not worrying where they're going to fit, or if I brought my computer along, if there's going to be room in the trunk for them, knowing that there'd be more than enough room. And as nice as it is for that, it was super nice being able to go pick up my two little ones and get the car seats in the back seat. I must say I'd bought a bag of trail mix and was nibbling on it a little as sustenance yesterday, and I gave them both an M&M in the back, and gave them a couple actually, and I was wondering, I was hopefully telepathying to them, do not throw the M&M in the car, brand new car, don't want chocolate melting in my back seat. Don't know if it was effective. But the car is going to get messy, and we're going to age, and we're going to get dings, and we're going to get experience, and we're going to learn a little bit as we go through life, and that's going to happen in my car as well. Levi asked him if I'm going to go see my daughter at college. I sure am. User asked what kind of car did I got. I got a Kia Soul. And J-Man wants to know what kind of scooter. I own a Suzuki Bergman 400 that I, this summer, rode across the country and back, or from Chicago to Yellowstone and back, to take a job waiting tables. And that was a key decision and key thing for me to do, because it's really sent me off in this wonderful direction I'm going, and gave me the confidence to wait tables here in Naperville. And today I'm going to be waiting tables at a restaurant, pretty nice restaurant in Naperville. And I am hopeful that we have a busy day. And I am not sure, because it's been a little slow over the last couple weeks, especially the lunch shift. But if we're busy, I'm going to have a long day. I could work 10, 12 hours and do really well. But if it's slow, it's going to be tough. And I'm just going to keep my fingers crossed and hope for the best and go in with the best attitude. And I'll tell you what, that's probably the most frustrating thing for me as a waiter, that I have to rely on somebody else's business to make money and somebody else's marketing of their business. And as an employee whose most of his money comes from tips, which come from customers, if the business has no customers, I'm going to make very little money. And I will tell you what, that is hard for me to swallow. That is hard for me to swallow. And because of that, I don't think that would be a long-term solution, nor would be being an employee anywhere. Because I want to fix, save, change the world. And if I'm an employee in a company, they don't want fixed, changed, or saved. They want to keep going as it's going and doing what it's doing and moving forward till it runs out of business. And when I go into an interview and have big ideas or big thoughts or big energy, I think sometimes I'll just say it might intimidate who I'm interviewing with. Probably does. I'm a lot to handle. I am a lot to handle. And I'm going to push those above me and below me. And I don't mean, you know what I mean, in a corporate setting. I'm going to push everybody to be better and to be their best. And I think I'm a lot to handle, and therefore maybe don't make the best employee. But I try real hard. And I bring a positive energy to everything I do, I think. I mean, not always. Not always, I promise you. But I try real hard, and I work hard, and I usually have a lot of positive energy. And I go live every morning here on TikTok, and I post these, edit all these videos and post them as shorts and reels and TikToks on various social media platforms. And I have a lot of fun doing this. And if you're new to the page, please subscribe, please follow, because I am thankful for you this morning. And I am thankful for the great night's sleep, and I am thankful for the cup of coffee. And I hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome week. And I hope you are feeling good. I hope you are loving yourself. I hope you are forgiving yourself. And as always, I hope to talk to you soon. Bye-bye.